everyone, and welcome to Unlocking the Power of Digital Coupons. I'm your host, Casey Brandt. I'm a standards coordinator for Conexxus. Your moderator for this session is Gray Taylor, the executive director of Conexxus. So a little bit of agenda for you guys. We've got some quick things before we get started. We're going to go through a few housekeeping items. I'll give you a little bit of information about Conexxus, and then we'll introduce the presenters and get on with the presentation. At the end of the session, we'll have a live Q&A. So for housekeeping, a replay will be made available on the Conexxus365.org. You can send your questions directly through the Zoom interface, so please feel free to send those in early and throughout the webinar. Please make sure no vendor-specific questions. PCI credits are available for qualifying live events, so please contact us if you're interested in that. So this is just a disclaimer slide that our lawyers make us put in. Basically, it's the views and opinions are solely of the speakers and not of Conexxus itself. A huge thank you and shout out to our 2023 annual sponsors at Conexxus. The extra support is really appreciated, and it allows us to continue to do our work on behalf of the industry. So a little bit about Conexxus. Conexxus is a nonprofit technology organization. Our members really do the heavy lifting. So we provide a neutral forum where retailers and vendors can network, come together, and create standards and solutions that are beneficial to our industry. We also educate through white papers and events like this one at Conexxus365. And we advocate on a technical level at other organizations to help steer the conversation around standards and policies so that changes don't negatively affect your business. So like I said, Conexxus365 is an educational webinar series with monthly webinars and events. Make sure you're subscribed to our email list and that you check our website to be notified of future webinars. Our next webinar will be next month on PCI 4.0 with Cara Gunderson from Citgo and Howard Glavin from K3DES. Make sure you're following Conexxus.org on LinkedIn for events and industry updates. All right, and now I'm going to hand it over to Gray Taylor to introduce our presenters for today.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you are. My name is Gray Taylor, Executive Director of Conexxus, and I've got a really great panel here to talk about what I think is one of the more exciting things that's on the horizon for us. I have Brandy Johnson, who is the CEO of the Coupon Bureau. I have Patrick Lewis, who is the founder and CEO of KRS. And I've got Sam Jonas, who is the CEO and co-founder of N-Data Services. All three of these players have been brought on board here because they provide a service that is very important to this new concept in digital promotion. To start out, just to give you an idea on digital promotion and digital coupons, we're all familiar with what we call the 8110 world, which was paper coupons pushed across the countertop and validated by a family code, sometimes not validated at all. And then they were all stacked up and sent off to some place for people to verify that the coupons were indeed valid. Our experience has been that about 20% of them had what we call breakage. In other words, they were declined, even though the retailer had issued the discount. We also have the handling, which is very laborious as far as handling paper and sending it around. And so we're going to talk about something that revolutionizes that, and it's been a long time in the coming. The first thing, though, is on coupons in general. A lot of our retailers are used to taking coupons for tobacco, and they're highly targeted to our industry because we sell 90% of the nicotine. But there's a whole beautiful world of coupons out there. In 2022, 79 billion coupons were issued by the broad swath of consumer packaged goods companies. And the redemption was about 375 million. Now, that was actually a decline from 2021. And these are primarily based off of paper-based coupons. So coupons you get in a circular, you might get it in the mail in one of those junk mail pieces. You might even pull it off a shelf talker. But these were all, for the most part, were paper-based coupons or 8110s. The good news is that while coupon distribution declined 17% over 2021 to 2022, digital coupons were actually up 5%. And that's really in lockstep with where consumers are going in general. I think we can all agree that that consumers are moving more and more to a digital platform. They're looking at the old coupon wallet that our mom had as being archaic. And it also lent itself for not having coupon redemptions, because you had to sift through all of those coupons that were in your wallet, or hope that you brought them along. And it was really antithetical to the whole concept of convenience, because coupons are a planned thing. And we are not a planned, very much a planned shopping experience. People stop by because they just realized they needed something, i.e. our name, the convenience store industry. While we're looking at the coupons, let me give you a quick breakdown on what the coupons are being targeted towards. About 33% of the coupons are being targeted towards food. And when we talk about food, we're talking about packaged food that's on the counter. About 47% are going for non-food, what we would traditionally call center store. And all of the CPG offers, as an example, would be about 42%. So it's distributed towards areas that we don't traditionally accept coupons. And even though right now those manufacturers aren't targeting convenience stores, opening up digital promotion to the convenience store industry now will provide an incentive for those CPGs, some of whom we already deal with today, to start targeting coupons for our segment. What are we talking about with 8112s? 8112s are a digital representation of 8110s, but they've got some very important differences. They reduce fraud almost to zero, because they're using a unique serialized token for each coupon, unlike ones that come in your circulars. You can just copy off and just keep using them over and over and over again. These are single-use tokens. The other thing is that they are adjudicated in real time, which means that you can't accept a coupon that doesn't fit the manufacturer's business rules. And that's important as far as the breakage goes. That removes about 20% of the loss that we have on coupons. And then lastly, there are no handling costs, because it's all being done digitally. So it resolves a lot of problems that we've had in the past with taking paper-based coupons. In fact, I've heard retailers tell me they'll take the coupon and they'll just throw the coupon away and just take the discount at retail and call it a day. So we're trying to really resolve that. Conexxus has been involved in this campaign since 2013 at the strategy conference. We did a presentation to several CPGs that came to the strategy conference on the concept of digital coupons, but we didn't have an 8112 artifact to point to. We just said, hey, if you did digital coupons, we could accept them, and that would be good for you and it'd be good for us. And we got kind of a cold response at the time. So it's been a long walk. I want to now turn it over, and I'm going to turn it over to Brandy, who's going to talk about really the navel of this entire endeavor. And she's also got all the scars from promoting this over the last 3 to 5 years. And the Coupon Bureau is an integral part of the ecosystem. So Brandy, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, thanks so much, Gray. I appreciate y'all allowing us to come and speak today, and excited about this vertical in particular, because coupons have not traditionally been, a big part of the marketing mix that you guys are able to pull from CPGs. And so this is definitely something that Gray and I are passionate about. Let me just speak for just a minute about what is 8112. I know that Gray alluded to the fact that the new coupon standard is different. There's a couple of key things there. First of all, the actual barcode structure is different. So now, instead of having the purchase requirements built into the barcode itself, we house those in the cloud. And it's important from a security standpoint, but I think it's even more important when we think about the C-store space, because you guys have always been much more creative in your timing, in your targeting of offers. So whether it's time of day, or whether it's, more of a complicated purchase, it's a Coke and something off of, from the grill, being able to facilitate those is really important. The other thing that Gray was mentioning is all of these coupons now, according to the standard, must be mandatorily serialized. So what that does specifically for the CPGs is gives them the confidence that we're not going to have over redemptions. So we're not going to have someone going and making copies and, we go 1 million over whatever the total circulation was. And even though that's important to CPGs, the reason that it's important to you is as we start rolling out more of the 8112 coupons, the CPGs have more confidence in this as a marketing lever. So they're according to everything that they've been telling us, they're going to increase the number of coupons that they're using and create more high value offers. So what we're hoping is, as Gray mentioned, that decline that we've seen over the last few years in couponing really comes down to the fact that the CPGs have lost a little bit of confidence in couponing as a lever and lost confidence from the standpoint of the security around it. So the new 8112 standard solves for that. The way that 8112 came to be originally was CPG saying, we want a retailer agnostic digital solution. So right now on the retail side, the retailers or the owner operators, merchants, they have a digital solution through loyalty. That's a closed loop system. So if a CPG wanted to do a digital offer, it had to be funneled through one of the specific retailers. That historically has hurt C-store because typically most of the grocery CPGs are pushing those loyalty dollars over towards the grocery space. So with the new retailer agnostic digital coupon, that means that Coca-Cola could text me an offer, email me an offer. I could scan a barcode at shelf. I could scan, a QR code on the side of a bus. It doesn't matter. But now I have that offer and I, as a shopper, get to choose where I want to use it. And for any of you who have seen me speak before, you've probably heard me say this, but for me, if Coke sends me a coupon, I would rather hop into my convenience store that's right down the street than lug myself into the grocery store some days. So having that flexibility, I think, is really important. And that's what Gray and I have been really passionate about opening up to y'all's market. So for the Coupon Bureau, what are we and why are we here and why is it important? I think about us a lot like Conexxus. We don't create coupons. We don't distribute coupons. We don't distribute or settle coupons. We are literally just that technical standard infrastructure that's there to support the new ecosystem. And what the new ecosystem requires is real-time API connectivity between each of the stakeholders. So let me just talk about that for just 1 minute. When a CPG, for those of you who may not be as familiar with coupons, when a CPG gets ready to execute a coupon campaign, they're going to find a provider or a distribution partner that would work with them to build out the offer, build out the creative that the shopper is going to see, and then distribute that through their channels or allow the CPG to put that through their channels. And then from there, the shopper obviously is going to engage. So we've got shopper engagement. How does that look? How are they going to bring them into the store? What you're going to see with the 8112 coupons is a mobile, phone coming in with one of the 8112 barcodes on it. From there, the point of sale needs to be able to call us and say, is this a valid coupon? And has this particular user used this before? And then from there, settlement happens. So what Coupon Bureau is responsible for is making sure that we're educating everyone to the new standard, making sure that everyone has access to either connect, build product, be prepared for settlement, or for you guys as owner operators, be prepared and connected so that you can accept and redeem these new coupons. So that is our function in the industry. We are a nonprofit. We house all of the coupon data. And so we needed to be in an agnostic role to be able to do that. I jokingly call us the FDIC of coupons. I don't know that that is a completely accurate analogy, but hopefully that rings true with some of you guys. So that's what, as far as TCB does, and we work hand in hand with organizations like Conexxus to make sure that your particular vertical has access, connectivity, education, so that you guys are prepared to be able to access these promotional dollars that traditionally you have not had access to. So we're extremely excited about that. Finally, I would just say, as we're rolling out, one of the things that I've appreciated so much from Conexxus and NACS that, quite frankly, we haven't been able to have as much on the grocery side. It's a more bifurcated environment. But for Conexxus and NACS, they have worked hand in hand with us to ensure that on the C-store side of the business, that you guys have the infrastructure that you need, not only the education like this, but also the critical infrastructure that you need to be able to accept, redeem, and then settle these offers. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Patrick. You're on mute, Patrick.
Thanks, Brandy. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so KRS is building out part of that infrastructure that Brandy just referred to, and that is the accelerator infrastructure. So as she said, the point of sale needs to be able to get advice on whether it's a valid coupon, what it's good for, And so we're building an accelerator. Accelerator is a service that sits between the retail point of sale and the coupon bureau. Its role is to in real time receive the presented 8112 digital coupon and transaction details from the point of sale. So those transaction details are full market basket, SKU, product description, quantity, local discounts that were applied, time, date, retailer ID, location, that kind of stuff. From there, the accelerator would communicate with the coupon bureau's positive offer file with the 8112 coupon. If it's valid, if it's a valid coupon, still good, the coupon bureau will then respond to the accelerator with all the details associated with the 8112 offer. The accelerator will then evaluate the transaction to see if all the criteria are met for that coupon. So that, does it include the proper SKU? Is it proper quantity? Is it a combo, mix and match? All of the variables, if those are met, the accelerator will then code that offer and advise the point of sale to apply any applicable discounts appropriately to the transaction. So either at the line level or the ticket level, apply that discount. Could also provide verbiage to print on the receipt and any information that needs to be displayed on the customer display. The point of sale then will respond to the accelerator that the discounts were applied, or if they weren't, and the transaction was completed by sending the full completed transaction journal entry to us, so the T-log entry. The accelerator then can communicate with the coupon bureau that single use offer was completed. So changing the record in the coupon bureau. This ensures that the customer or any other customer couldn't use that exact same 8112. The accelerator will maintain real-time records for the retailers, and will periodically transmit those records on behalf of the retailers to the settlement services to process for reimbursement from the CPG companies back to the retailer. So as an independent third-party accelerator, it provides a layer of security by helping to mitigate fraud through real-time serialized authentication. CPG companies, can now put out offers to consumers without fear, and retailers can confidently redeem those offers quickly and securely. So in order to achieve all of this functionality, KRS highly leveraged Conexxus loyalty and offers standard. So this is a mature standard. It's been around over a decade. The standard is widely implemented by the point of sale companies in the convenience store industry, and it provides the communication channel that's necessary for the accelerator to perform its function in the ecosystem. Because this interface already exists, it represents a highly unique opportunity for retail locations in our industry to be able to accept these coupons very quickly. No need to wait for the point of sale companies to develop interfaces or the back office companies to develop the reporting and accounting requirements. It's simply going to use the existing rails and processes that are already established. So the retailer that's connected to the accelerator would be able to accept individual 8112 digital coupons that come in, bundled 8112 digital coupons that come in. And I think most importantly, because I can see this as being the primary way that this might get used in our industry and promoted, the accelerator can also be connected cloud to cloud to loyalty providers and other loyalty programs, so that the 8112 digital coupons can be linked to a loyalty account as part of a digital wallet. So that allows the digital coupons to be a part of your own engagement program and supported in your own mobile apps that are out already. So you get kind of the best of both worlds. You can take an individual 8112 coming in and out of the wild, or you can leverage them through your loyalty program and create a wallet with different digital offers as well. So that's how the accelerator is going to be used. And as I mentioned before, we'll be keeping record of all of these on behalf of the retailers, and then we will be transmitting those over to a settlement service. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sam Jonas with InData, who is that settlement service.
Thanks, Patrick. That was great. So when you talk about settlement in coupons, it's always worth kind of talking about the way things are right now and have been in the past, and how 8112 is going to change that. So as Gray had referenced, you know, anybody can accept a coupon, right? If a retailer is willing to go ahead and issue that discount, they can accept it. The issue has always been one of the big issues has always been getting paid. Obviously, if you accepted a fraudulent coupon, you might end up with a chargeback. And in many cases, the fees connected with the labor connected with basically preparing the coupons to be submitted, as well as the fees for bagging, mailing, etc., actually discouraged retailers many times from submitting those coupons. And if they did, they might actually have deductions and chargebacks for issues that they may not have even been aware of. And so 8112 actually solves a lot of these because it is fully digital, a fully digital settlement process. And because the product is validated in the basket and it is confirmed that the purchase has been made, we then receive that data from the accelerator in the form of what's called the Universal Coupon Redemption File, which has that G10 validation confirming consumer purchase, as well as all of the other attributes of the transaction: date, time, location, retailer, which all strengthen the both the reporting and the details that are provided, as well as being able to speed payment. In the current environment, it might take you weeks or even a couple of months to be paid for the submission of paper coupons. With 8112s, we'll be able to process those offers from the Universal Coupon Redemption File that we receive from the accelerator and pay the retailer in days or a couple of weeks maximum. So that ends up being a much more advantageous environment, especially for the convenience store industry, which is very fast-paced and labor intensive with high turnover. So because everything is digitized, there's less training, much easier acceptance, and the retailer is able to be paid faster. The interesting thing about the 8112 process is that it actually is going to actually, by being able to bring these kinds of offers into the convenience store industry and the retailer being able to have the confidence that they'll be paid quickly, it's going to be able to sharply increase coupon participation by shoppers, by retailers and their shoppers, and then also increase basket size, increase sales, and be able to allow the convenience stores to be able to participate in the kind of digital offers that they weren't able to, or the kind of couponing offers from CPGs that they were unable to participate in the past. So I think that kind of sums it up, and open to any questions you may have.
Yeah, and if I could, just to kind of close the loop, I know that I mentioned originally that NACS and Conexxus has done such an incredible job of creating the critical infrastructure that you guys need in order to participate. On the grocery side of the business, we don't have this this ability for retailers to have default solutions like what Conexxus and Nax is creating for you. So on the grocery side of the business, it's up to that retailer, whether it's big independent owner operator, to have to find a way to technically connect and find a settlement solution. And so I really love, and this is really, I think the whole mission of Conexxus is to make sure that you guys are enabled without having to disrupt your business. And I just wanted to hit one thing that I don't think I did a very good job on at the beginning, if y'all will allow me to, is when we think about what are these coupon types. You've probably been familiar with seeing paper coupons come into your stores or try to come into your stores. That's really what we're talking about right now, is changing what that paper coupon looks like that's been traditionally going into grocery. So when we think about a CPG and their marketing overall, they've got essentially two buckets of money. So they've got their nationally direct to consumer distributed offers that they're in control of, which traditionally manifest themselves as paper coupons because they didn't have a digital solution before 8112. And then they've got their loyalty or their retailer specific type offers. So you guys have done, as an industry in this particular vertical, a fantastic job of capturing those loyalty offers and making sure that those loyalty dollars are available to owner operators. What we've missed is, what about this other whole bucket of money? And again, if I'm a shopper, Coca-Cola again sends me something, I get to choose where I want to bring it. And so it's that turning on the ability for you guys and your shoppers to have access to those free promotional dollars that are sitting out there that you didn't have to promote, that you didn't have to aggregate, and then being able as a shopper to leverage them inside your stores. What I loved about what Patrick said, and we're having a little bit more friction on the grocery side for this, but not only now as a shopper do I get to choose that I want that offer, but if I want to, I can save it into my convenience store loyalty app. And then be able to use it from there. So not only are you guys able to leverage the dollars that are available from the C stores, but should I choose as a shopper, augment my savings into your app that you've already pulled me into from a loyalty perspective. So again, just bigger wins we're seeing over here on this side. And again, I appreciate both Patrick and Sam working with us to make sure that there's some default structure there that you guys can leverage quickly, because there are CPGs today that are ready to execute these offers. We've been working with groups like P&G, Conagra, Jack Links, Coca-Cola, Nestle, Hershey, who want to be able to move into this market. They want to target your shoppers specifically. And so with the enablement of 8112, we're all together going to be able to make that happen. But what we need is to ensure that you guys get connected, first of all, so that you can accept and redeem them, and then make sure that you can get your money back through settlement. So that was just a little bit of a fine point I wanted to add there.
No, that's
I'd like to
yeah,
add
I'm
on
just
something.
gonna,
Oh,
I'd
go
like
ahead.
to just, yeah, I just wanted to confirm what Brandy just said, right? These are offers that would not have been available inside loyalty programs, right? These are the offers that are, you know, in the old FSIs and in the mailers and all the way that paper coupons are distributed. And so these augment loyalty programs, right? They work hand in hand with them by bringing new dollars and new offers into the store and allowing the retailer to actually have an electronic acceptance cycle and an electronic settlement cycle, right? So they can actually accept the coupon and still get paid for it, versus looking at or accepting, you know, getting the 8112 and being able to get paid for it, versus the paper coupon where they had to look at it and say, how difficult is this going to be redeemed? I'm going to throw it away, which is a double loss, right? Because not only did the retailer not get reimbursed because it was too much of a hassle, but also the CPG who issued it, as well as the retailer, didn't really get the data, right? They didn't get what limited data was available. So 8112 expands the field of offers, right, for the retailers, but then also, you know, allows the completion of that loop for higher quality data for both the retailer and the CPG. and in coordination with the efforts of the loyalty programs.
And just the overarching, we're getting a lot of questions in. I think the trend that we need to watch is this: CPGs are desperate to connect directly with their consumers. They want to be able to offer the consumer incentives to buy their product, and quite frankly, they're retailer agnostic. So they want to issue coupons with the reasonable expectation that they could be used in any retailer that the consumer chooses. And one of the questions that came up was, are 8112s a threat to loyalty programs? I'll start with you, Pat, since you're relatively familiar with loyalty.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. I don't see it as being a threat to loyalty programs at all. In fact, just from a broader stance, loyalty programs and membership in loyalty programs is a subset of your customers. So there's some customers that try as hard as you can, they won't join your loyalty program, and then there's some customers that but would use perhaps a digital offer, a coupon. So I think it just allows consumers to engage with your brand in the way they want to engage with your brand. So it could be, hey, I don't want that level of engagement at a loyalty program, but I do want to get some savings, so I'll use a coupon. Or I really do want to have that level of engagement and an additional offer, so I'll join the loyalty program, but I'll also add the coupons in, and it just adds to the value proposition of the loyalty program. So as a threat to a loyalty program, I don't see it at all. As a way of expanding your loyalty program, you're potentially expanding the value proposition to the consumer. So they will now see more value in participating in your loyalty program because you have your funded offers, you have some of the money from the bucket from the CPG and vendor sponsored offers that they're doing today, and then this whole other bucket, which by the way is way bigger, for digital coupons. And so figuring out how to get wired into that and get it integrated into your loyalty program as just additional potential offers is I think going to be what everybody's going to be doing, because it's going to help level the playing field.
We say it's and we say it's an and because if I'm part of your loyalty program, I've got offers that you've sourced to me there, but I've also got offers that have been sourced to me directly from the CPGs that I get to bring in, that I sourced myself. So to me, as far as the opportunity for savings, definitely an and.
There's an inherent hyper customization there, because consumers selecting an offer from one of their CPG partners inherently says that they find that very, very valuable. So rather than throwing a whole mess of coupons against the wall in a loyalty program, you can start tracking which coupons are of interest to them. So it gives us another data stream to find out more about the consumer. Got a couple of questions about the consumer experience, walking through obtaining an 8112 all the way up to how do they use it. We've touched a little bit on that. Sam, I'm going to start with you. If you can give us just kind of a quick overview as you see it on the consumer journey.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about it is that this is going to be a new discovery process, right? Instead of having a paper coupon mailed to you or, presented in one of the traditional channels that they use for the distribution of paper, it's going to be just like it's all digital in the settlement process. It's going to be all digital, or mostly digital, in the distribution process. So think about banner ads on Facebook or Instagram, or Brandy's famous example of the QR code on the side of a bus. I mean, that's more than 50% serious. You're going to see that. You're going to see these new digital delivery channels for 8112. And I think what's really important, again, talking about how you engage the consumer, this is going to engage a new generation of savers and shoppers, right? The millennials and Gen Zs, well, certainly this is true for millennials, but even now Gen Zs, they're maturing, they're becoming parents, forming families, they're going to be conscious as savers. The ones that I know wouldn't be caught dead redeeming a paper coupon unless maybe it was worth $100. All right. So the fact of the matter is that 8112 gives retailers that opportunity to be able to engage those consumers, these younger consumers who would never work with paper, but because it's on their phone, because it's obtained through channels that they're familiar with, social media, websites, Facebook, etc. And then it can be redeemed through a method that they're familiar with, i.e. just presenting it at the point of sale. That's a familiar delivery mechanism for them. So I think that that's going to be a real positive consumer experience that's going to bring in new retailers. And I think Brandy kind of made a reference to the fact that on your loyalty program, you're speaking to the people who've registered for it, right? 8112s allows the retailer to connect with people who are not part of your loyalty program and maybe begin that conversation. There are ways that people, when they capture these offers, they'll be able to store them to a digital wallet. Many of the wallets available in the market right now have the ability to, let's say you've captured 10 of these different offers. You can bundle them into a single QR code for presentation. So you don't have to kind of flip through your phone to be able to prime the different ones that you want. So even though it's a new ecosystem, there's some really talented people who are developing different strategies to be able to make that consumer experience seamless for the consumer and rapid at the point of sale.
Do you have any thoughts on this?
Do I have any thoughts on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would echo some of the things that Sam just said, you know, as far as being able to have communicate these offers outside of your loyalty program and be in different ways. You know, all the social media thing, I think that's going to be another very large one. And even the so a provider can distribute offers as well. So this thing that we're putting together that's an accelerator, you know, on behalf of the industry, and you know, thank NACS for you know, its sponsorship in putting this together. I think we're going to be able to get a lot of secure a lot of offers from CPG companies that you know, hadn't previously engaged because it can be a broader, a wider net that's being cast out. You know, the CPG companies that we've worked with in the past to secure offers for loyalty programs, for example, sometimes they don't want to do business because the checks they're writing are too small. You know, believe it or not, you know, they prefer to write bigger checks and have bigger impact on it. So on their sales. So I think that, you know, even the channel of secure customers, the closed channel of secured customers, which are in the loyalty programs themselves, could be a place to you know, display these offers, and that's very easy way to just add it to the loyalty wallet, get that bundling that Sam was talking about. So everyone they clip is bundled. The ID token is accepted, and we're able to see all of the offers. When we communicate with the Coupon Bureau, we see all of the offers to see if they're applicable to the transaction. I really do see that as being a very big way to get a lot of penetration in the market. There's also some retailers out there. I'd be remiss if I didn't point this out, because I think it's important. There's a lot of retailers out there that don't have a loyalty program, and in it, you know, for various different reasons. It could be, you know, a budgetary restriction. It could be that you know, smaller operators, single less than 10 store chains that you know, really don't feel as though that a loyalty program would be right for them because of their size, but they can certainly accept coupons, and that would be a really good opportunity for them to get some sales driven to their locations when they don't have a loyalty program. So I think that's another element. This is very beneficial to the entire industry, the big and small alike operators.
So I've got a two-part question here for Brandy. So can you identify any of the supermarket or drug banners that are looking at 8112s or implementing 8112s, and can you tell us how far along they are? And since they're such big players in those verticals, can we accept Catalina or Inmar generated promotions through this ecosystem?
So I can tell you that right now we've got several regional retailers that are connected and accepting coupons. I can't say exact names, but let me just tell you this. We've had conversations with the largest e-com player in the market. They're building right now. One of the largest mass retailers building right now. One of the largest national grocers connecting right now. And then just a myriad of regionals and mid-tiers and independents. So I would answer that by saying, I think come January, you're going to see much more penetration from the retailer perspective in the grocery space. As far as the Catalina question, Catalina is one of our key partners. Right now, they're looking at moving all of their in-store printers to 8112. So, and their digitally distributed offers. So I think Catalina is very interested in participating in this space. I've had lots of conversations with them, and we'll continue to do that. And Gray and I can continue to work through that. Did that answer your question appropriately? If not, whoever asked, give me the follow-up.
Well, I'll ask one follow-up question, because you've been working this side of the street for a long time. What are some of the bigger CPGs that have shown interest in 8112s?
Sure. We've had some fantastic CPG partners that are already creating offers and have them in market, like Procter & Gamble. We've had ones that have had them in market during testing and have them available. Coca-Cola actually already tested in C-store. Abbott, Nestle, I mentioned some of these before. Hershey's been, looking for testing opportunities. Trying to think I'm sure my team right now is screaming at their screen. But I would say you take the top, 50 CPGs. The CPGs is not the sell here. The CPGs are, I don't know if you remember that old sales commercial for a retailer where the lady standing outside, she's like, open, open, open. That's how the CPGs are right now. Like how fast. So us being able to help facilitate content right now is not the problem. The problem is just ensuring that we can get the retailers connected quickly. And again, that's why I think what you guys are doing on the C-store side of the business is phenomenal, because especially for those more independent owner operators, they're not going to be left in the wind having to figure it out technically themselves. You guys are providing that solution for them. And as we get more C-stores connected, that will help drive even more interest from the CPGs. So it's a help me, help you, help me kind of scenario right now.
And Gray, the way that I heard that question, maybe it was a little bit different. The way I heard it is, what if some other company issues coupons? Would those coupons be accepted? So what we're talking about here is 8112s, digital coupons, and so within that constraint, any 8112 issued by anybody could be accepted. So it doesn't matter whether Inmar issued it, or it doesn't really matter who issued it. If it's conformant to the 8112, the accelerator would be able to hit the coupon bureau process, and InData would be able to settle. So it's an open system, which is what the CPG companies wanted, and it's a standard. So that's what we all should want as retailers and operators alike. So if the question was, we'll be able to accept like paper coupons, through this, well, then the answer to that's no. it isn't processing paper coupons unless they had,
Unless they're 8112.
that's our 8112, right?
Right.
But the traditional 8110 with family code embedded in it, that's the older technology, and you wouldn't be able to just scan and have those processed.
And I want to add to something that Patrick just said that I think is really important. By zeroing in on the fact that these are universal,
Yes.
that also lets it know that this is evening the playing field for independent retailers, right? These offers are available everywhere. So a lot of coupon issuance in the past has been, directed at some of the largest retailers, right? That's the perception of where all the shoppers are. And because of the universality here, independent retailers are you're going to see an evening of the playing field, right? They're going to have an equal chance to capture that Coca-Cola coupon, that P&G coupon. InData is live in a few dozen locations right now with a number of independent retailers. And the feedback we get from them is really positive because they see this as a chance for them to be able to compete for those same dollars that in the past they haven't been able to access. So, I think that's one of the reasons why this is such an important initiative for the C-store industry, because, there is a structural change going on in grocery right now, right? The big box grocers are pulling back into their strongest markets in the face of competition from e-commerce and letting a lot of delivery fill the gap. And in many cases, convenience stores are filling that lost space, right? They may be the only source of food or fresh food in a lot of neighborhoods. And because in many of those neighborhoods, transportation is a big issue, being able to offer these kinds of discounts for C-stores that, are competing for those same customers it's just going to be an important revenue driver. And to Patrick's point, the fact is, whether it's inside of loyalty or outside of loyalty, it allows that retailer to be able to compete on an even playing field, right? So it's really not competitive. It's augmenting their ability to, meaning a convenience store owner, to be able to compete in the market, especially in against grocery and other retailers that might have in the past, had access to offers that independent retailers and especially C-store operators didn't have access to.
Okay, we got, I'm going to try and link some questions together because we have a lot of questions coming in. And it has to do with the capability of accepting 8112s. And so one of the questions is, what's the rollout look like? How difficult is it to get POSs to support 8112? And I know Pat, you've done some experimentation in your lab, and maybe you could take this question.
Yeah, sure. Getting all the point of sale systems in our industry to completely support 8112. Who knows how long that would take. There's competing goals and initiatives looking at that. So we did take the approach of utilizing the existing interface and creating the accelerator. And so what that does is it gives us enormous coverage. So as I said before, that loyalty and offer standard, which when it was originally written, did in fact consider accepting digital coupons someday. And those of us that worked on it, we got pretty lucky because we were able to see just far enough into the future that the way that we designed it, it ended up working when it finally came around. And there's a lot of point of sales that have adopted that structure. Gilbarco Passport, Verifone Commander has adopted that standard. There's also NCR, RPOS has a loyalty interface that works with this as well. And those are really the big three that are in our industry, but there's other point of sales, comm data, Fiscal, some other niche player point of sales that have also adopted the Conexxus standard. I don't have the full list, but I can tell you that excluding 7-Eleven, which is with their large presence in the bespoke point of sale system, the rest of the industry has got to be 80-90% coverage with this. We can just connect right to it, and then if you go to the kind of the next level of adding back in loyalty programs that can be connected to it, then you can expand probably in quite a bit more, even into the bespoke, because that's the other way to get to the accelerator.
So Sam, you've got experience in other verticals with POS support. What's your experience there?
It's been really positive, Gray. I mean, like I said, we've got a few dozen sites that are up. We've been processing universal coupon redemption files, invoicing CPGs. We've seen clearing and settlement times reduced to under 2 weeks. It's not always going to be the case, because retailers have the ability with 8112s to set, hey, I want to close my coupons every day. I want to close them once a week. They can set those times, right? So, depending on what they set that time frame to look like depends on how quickly we get the file and then can submit it to the CPG. But we've already done many of these transactions for a number of retailers. Acceptance is smooth at the point of sale. The bundling, the ability to bundle a group of coupons under a single QR code works very well. And then, of course, the accelerators are able to turn that universal coupon redemption file, and we're able to get the invoices out to the CPGs within less than 72 hours. So you're seeing much quicker turnaround. And I did want to add also to make a reference back to something Pat had said, the importance of 8112 to the C-store industry in particular is highlighted by the fact that we're very pleased to announce that Henry Armour, the president and CEO of NACS, has actually joined InData's board as a member of our board of directors. So that's a very important indicator of the importance and focus that NACS as an organization and the leadership of NACS wants to put on 8112 as a value proposition for the industry.
So I'm going to answer the next one. I'm going to try and compress it. There was a question about, so when a consumer presents an 8112, we don't know who that consumer is, correct? And my answer on that one is that we're leveraging the same technology that TruAge, the age verification system that's currently in deployment, uses, which is single use, what I call bearer tokens. So the person who is presenting that to you, you don't know who they are, other than they're of age, or I've got this discount that should be applied. So there's no consumer interaction. Another question that came up was, can we ensure that the consumer using, say, an adult packaged good coupon is of age? And again, when we architected TruAge, the whole architecture with TruAge was I validated a person's ability to buy, or their age profile at the store, and we've always had intentions to project that profile to assist a CPG in making sure that the consumer who's taking that product coupon isn't underage. So our objective, and it's not quite here just yet, is how do we make sure that the coupon never hits somebody who's not age appropriate all the way through the ecosystem, all the way up through redemption. And we're working at Conexxus to do inter-app communication, which would then allow us, is going to be a standard, would allow a retailer's app, loyalty app, to go in and directly interrogate a TruAge wallet to see if that person has a token with the age quality of that person, and then also go over and interrogate the container that's got all these other coupons in it And this adds then value to the loyalty program of the retailer because they can literally age verify and they can apply coupons that they didn't have in their inventory and proudly say to the customer frictionlessly, not only did you use my coupons, but I also saved you another couple of bucks over here because we had access to those coupons and you didn't have to pull out your wallet because we had True Age in the application. So that's where we're really trying to go, is build those loyalty apps into kind of a super app in the moment, where we can start taking more and more consumer friction out of the transaction.
That's right.
And one of the question for you, Brandy, are you disposed to being able to tell us which convenience stores have been piloting these?
Truthfully, I don't know that I could give you that list because I'm not sure that I know it. I know that before NACS a couple years ago, we piloted with a couple of locations, and then we've piloted a couple of locations last year. I don't know right off the top of my head, but I can get that information for you for sure.
Great.
I apologize.
Hey, Gray. The question before that, prior to that, I wanted to kick back in on before this meeting ends. With regards to privacy. So the way the accelerator works, it's not going to be receiving any PII, any type of information about the consumer. It's going to be the 8112 coupon showing up and in the market basket, and so that just the necessary things. So even when it's a loyalty program connected to the accelerator, it doesn't change. You know, it won't be getting the accelerator won't be receiving even a loyalty token. You know, it'll be receiving the information, and we'll just be evaluating it and returning advice back to the loyalty host. So as far as confidentiality, security, or by participating in this, you're not sharing your consumer data. Retailer is not sharing the consumer data with any part of this infrastructure, not any of the service providers or even CPG companies.
Great. If I could, one of the questions, we had a couple of questions about, can the retailers themselves utilize 8112? Yes.
Now, next question. You
Okay,
read my...
sorry. I wasn't trying to cut you off, but yes. So 8112 is being used by CPGs. But yes, as a retailer, owner, operator, you absolutely can utilize the 8112 barcode structure to execute your own campaigns with your own funding, or with maybe trade dollars specifically from the CPGs. And so you can reach out to us and we can help you with that.
So I've got one last open-ended question. What's the penetration and the acceptance looking like in Canada, our neighbors to the north?
Yeah, so we've actually had conversations with both Loblaw and Sobeys, which are the two largest grocers in Canada. And I believe that, well, both of them are on a path to connectivity. I don't know what that timeline looks like. However, we have not had any conversations in the C-store space yet in Canada. So maybe that's something that Gray and I can tackle.
Well, it's my understanding too that this is also appropriate to really take to any global market. Is that a fair statement?
It is. We actually right now already support 8112 in Japan. We should have our first retailer connectivity happening at the beginning of the year. And then right now we are being asked through several different partners to support India next and the UK. So yes, this is a global standard. We just happen to have the benefit of it here in the US first.
I think we're out of time. Brandy has been emailing me. So I'd really like to thank you guys for coming in and very clearly explaining what is a very new ecosystem. It has lots of opportunities for our convenience store to pick up some of the dollars that are just laying on the floor and going over to dollar and going over to grocery, mass merchants, and so forth. I personally think, and I know that NACS, through its engagement, thinks that this is one of the most important innovations that's hit the industry in quite some time. So Again, thanks guys for explaining it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact any of the folks here or contact from me or Casey to reach those folks. So thanks again for taking time to hear about this exciting innovation.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Greg.
Thanks.